Welcome back, guys, or if you're new to my channel, this is Automotive Anonymous, and I'm currently driving a 2025 Subaru Legacy Premium. So it's the second lowest trim level. It starts about $27,000. It has cloth seats, they're really comfortable. It even has heated seats with the big 11.6-inch screen. And today, this is going to be a driving review. I'm going to overlay some body footage from my full review of this, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. And if you're new to my channel, I actually own Subarus. I've had a Crosstrek. I've currently owned an Outback Wilderness for almost 3 years, and we now have a 2025 Forester. So I'm a believer of Subarus. I don't just review them from time to time. But what do I think of this? How is it to drive? This does have the 2.5-liter boxer, naturally aspirated. It makes about 182 horsepower. And under normal driving conditions, when you're not loaded down, when the back seats and the trunk are empty, it actually does pretty well. Even today, I'm driving at about a mile above sea level, so it is down on power about 20%. Turbo models compensate pretty well, plus the turbo models are as fast as the WRX in all of my testing. But this regular one, when I'm just cruising at highway speed going 60 miles an hour, it's smooth. The CVT is holding RPM at about 1500, and I'm probably getting pretty darn close to the 35 miles per gallon that this thing is rated. In fact, let's check it out. Let's see if we can, let's see. Yeah, 30s, 40s, 50s. Kind of getting off the throttle right now, so that wasn't a completely accurate demonstration, because I want to see how it corners. Corners pretty good. With all-wheel drive, you're not likely to spin those wheels because Subaru's traction control management system is actually pretty good, and their stability control. But when you do have traction control off like I do right now, you can have a tiny bit more fun with it, especially when the surface is slick, like in the winter. But otherwise, these all-season tires and all-wheel drive that's mechanical and all the time, it does a really good job. I drive a lot in my Subarus. I've driven on the interstate a lot. I've driven before the snow plows sometimes come out, and there's a reason why I keep buying them, because they've done better than anything else I've ever owned. And I used to own 4x4 Toyota Tacomas and FJ Cruiser, but the Subaru, the Legacy specifically, it feels really good. The most noticeable thing when I get into one of these is how low I'm sitting. Honestly, it's not low by normal car standards, especially if I drive something like a Camry or an Impreza or other vehicles. This actually feels pretty decent, but compared to my Outback that sits almost 4 inches higher, it is weird to have such a nice interior, such a familiar space, while feeling so much lower to the ground than I normally do. So that is a little bit trippy, but that might just be my own problem. If you haven't driven an Outback, you don't know, what I'm talking about. It just sounds probably pretty funny. But this gets right up to speed at about half throttle. The CVT will usually fake some shifts, but when you go full throttle, especially if it's from a stop, then the CVT knows to just hold max RPM at about 5,800, where it makes that 182 horse, and it makes about 176 foot-pound-feet of torque. And it's really sad that the Legacy is going away, that this is the last year. The Legacy, the first generation, started back in 1989, so it's been around for quite a while. And the Legacy is one generation ahead of the Outback, although, right from the beginning, basically when the Outback started, it was just an extended raised version of this, turning the sedan into a wagon. So the Legacy got basically the first generation before the Outback came to match it and to be an add-on. And I'm sad to see it go, because this is such a nice vehicle. It rides so well, and with an 18.5 gallon tank, getting up to that 27 city, 35 highway, you could road trip for about 650 miles. So to have 650 miles of range under normal EPA driving conditions, while having 6 inches of ground clearance and a really good all-wheel drive system, that's just insane, because that's basically like Camry hybrid or Prius hybrid type of MPG numbers, while having probably a slightly bigger vehicle, 15 cubic feet in the trunk and enough backseat room to fit 3 full-size adults, and all-wheel drive for your winters. It's not like a reactionary system or where the electric motor kicks in like what Toyota has, but it's mechanical, and it's a really good one at that. And you can have all of this for $27,000, or the way this one has, with a few options like the garage door openers, the auto-dimming mirrors, which seriously, after owning those on ours, I wouldn't want to go back without those. I love that feature. It's a few $100s. But after that, after destination, after the all-weather mats, this one is under $29,000 all said and done, which huge thanks to Twin Falls Subaru for selling everything below MSRP, letting me borrow their stuff for the day, and also for shipping all over the country. So if you're interested in them, I'll link them below. They are a phenomenal dealership to work with. But the Subaru Legacy, it's been a really good vehicle, and it's sad to see it going after about 36 years, but it's it's long in the tooth. It's lived its life, and because Subaru doesn't sell very many of these, in fact, some years they only sell 20,000 units of these. Meanwhile, for the last completed year of sales for 2023, the Outback sold over 150,000. So I see why they're cutting it. It doesn't make sense to produce it if they're only getting 1 in 7 or 1 in 8 sales out of this, if people aren't buying sedans. Part of that is for safety. We have been kind of misled to thinking bigger vehicles are safer, which most bigger vehicles are not top safety picks. They're just bigger, they're truck body on frame. They don't actually have very good crumple zones. They're not actually safer. This vehicle, just like the Outback, is a top safety pick. So this is actually a really safe sedan, but there's fewer sedans because everyone wants bigger, taller, higher vehicles, which it's kind of a bad cycle. When everyone else drives big vehicles, for you to feel safe on the road, it seems like you want to be matching them at eye level. So you might want to drive a big vehicle too. But honestly, this mid-size sedan that's a top safety pick that has a bunch of airbags, a bunch of active and passive safety features, and they've been shown to hold up really well in accidents, I don't think you need to worry about buying the biggest Tahoe or Suburban on the road. I think the Legacy is a really safe option. I think they're really proven. The lower center of gravity, it's gonna handle better than a lot of those bigger vehicles. Weighing about 3,500 pounds, again, it feels, I wouldn't say light on its feet, but it doesn't really feel that much heavier than a WRX, which is a rally racing car. The Legacy, it has a special place in my heart because it has a lot of history. It's leaving a literal legacy in the hearts of those who like Subarus and the hearts of those who have survived crazy winters and driving through deep snow in their Subarus. And for that reason, I'm pretty sad to see it go. And I think you guys should definitely check one out if you're interested in a sedan. If you're interested in something like this, why not test drive them? Test drive the competition. Don't just take my word for it, because remember, I'm just a random person on the internet. But I like Subarus, and I think this has been a fun vehicle to drive. There's a lot that you guys will learn from it if you watch my full review of it that I'm just finishing up before I started this bonus video, just because it's fun. Some of you guys want to hear more talk and more driving impressions. You want to see just more stuff. And I mean, I'm having fun, so I hope you guys are too. Anyways, let's get through this U-turn. It does a full U-turn in about 17.5 feet. And let's get to the 0 to 60. 0 to 60 in the Subaru Legacy. Density altitude's 5,600 feet, so we're actually down on power about 20%. Traction's off. I will brake rev the CVT. Let's see what it can do. Not too bad. 0 to 60 came in at 9.15 seconds true time, or a high 8 without rollout. So around 9 seconds flat, 0 to 60, really not bad, again, given the fact that we're over a mile above sea level today. And for being naturally aspirated, only having 182 horsepower. The Subaru is really efficient in how it uses that 182 horsepower and how the CVT keeps you in the power band. But anyways, guys, with that said, if you like this video, please consider liking this video. Comment any thoughts and opinions you might have. Subscribe if you haven't already and you want to watch more stuff, and I'll link the dealership below. And with that said, I wish you guys the best. I hope you take care. See ya.